Hey, what's up everyone? It's Mo the Man here. Now, do you feel like every single month you're forking out an extra £1 to £2 or £300 on something you didn't really expect to pay for? For example, the car's broken down, you got to take it to the garage and get it fixed, or the microwave has suddenly stopped working, you got to buy a new one, or in our case, every single toilet in the house for some reason has just stopped working, we've got to replace them all. Now, these are what I like to call unavoidable expenses, and unfortunately we just can't avoid them, as you know, and it's got to be done and got to get sorted out. What about birthdays? Every single month, for some reason, I feel like I'm always going to someone's birthday, got to buy a present, got to go to a birthday dinner. Now, these are some of the things me and my wife love doing, so we don't really feel as if it's a burden on us, but at the end of the day, you're still forking out quite a bit of money every single month doing this. We have a big family on both sides, so we've got a lot of siblings, we've got a lot of nieces and nephews, and it's something we love to do and we always enjoy and actually look forward to. So that's not something that we necessarily want to give up. But I like to put these things in a second category called the nice to have expenses. All these expenses can be extremely annoying, especially if you're trying to save up as much as possible. Maybe you're trying to save for a deposit to put down on a house. Maybe you're trying to save up to buy that new car. It sometimes can be extremely difficult, especially in this day and age where the cost of living has gone up, the cost of housing has gone up, and the amount of income that people earn generally has kind of gone down. In this day and age where we've got social media and everyone seems to be having a blast on social media, you always feel kind of pressure to kind of live up to that kind of lifestyle. And normally a financial advisor would tell you, well, you got to give up the second category, which is the nice to have categories, and say, look, that's your best bet. I mean, these are the expenses you don't have to have. But for the second category, the nice to have categories, where you go out and enjoy yourself, cut down on that and you'll be fine. The reason I have a problem with that is because I don't want to really get into a lifestyle where I'm constantly thinking about saving and not really doing anything with my money. Things that we enjoy in life, or the things that I enjoy in life, is spending time with my friends and family, going to each other's birthdays, buying gifts, those kind of things. I actually feel happy doing it for others, so I don't really want to give that up either. So there has to be another way of doing this. In this video, we're going to talk about 4 ways that you can make an extra little bit of cash per month, possibly between £100 and £300. So hopefully stick through the video, and I really hope you enjoy. If you do, please remember to hit the like button, because it really helps out the YouTube algorithm. Also, please, if you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel, because there'll be loads more videos coming up just like this. I'll be posting weekly, so hopefully you'll be there and watching. So guys, just before we get into the video, I just want to make you aware that what we're about to talk about is not necessarily something that's going to replace your job. It's not something that's supposed to be your side hustle, just to give you an extra boost every single month to replace some of the extra costs or expenses that come up that you can't really foresee. Okay, so the first thing on this list is going to a paid focus group. Now, what is a paid focus group? This is where you and other participants get together to talk about your feelings and your opinions on a particular product or service, and in return, you get paid in cash. So at first I thought, oh, these are one of those social experiments they used to do back at university and get paid like 5 or 10 quid for. But actually, when I did my research, I noticed that these are big global brands that are doing these focus groups to really identify their customer base and understand their customers a lot better. So the funding there is so much more. In fact, let's take you through this website here. It's called Research Opinions, and it's based here in the UK. And this is one of my favorite ones so far. I mean, if you look through some of the things that they posted, sort of breakfast spreads here at £130. It's UK wide, so it's being done probably in multiple locations. UK train travel at £20, that's not so much. Fertility nutrition at £60 to £50, £120 for this one, £150 for this one. Something about cars, £65. So you can see the amount of cash that you can actually earn through these focus groups is actually quite good. Oh, look at this one right here. Christmas food, £240. That's the first I've seen of that one, but wow. So the key thing to do here is to sign up to as many sites as you possibly can think of. Now, I've put a link in the description below, multiple links actually, to some of the sites here in the UK. So go out there, just spend a little bit of time initially, just sign up to all these sites and just put in your information and be honest about the information you're putting in. And then just sit back and wait for them to get in touch, or you can start applying to some of these things yourself. Now, the more detailed information you put into your application, the higher the chances are of you getting selected by the focus group themselves. Otherwise, you'll be spending quite a bit of time applying for certain groups. So, for example, one of these sites I signed up for, I mentioned the exact car I was driving. I was driving a Mercedes C-Class, and funnily enough, 2 weeks later, I get a text saying, we've got a Mercedes focus group going for £100 in cash for 2.5 hours of your time. So what I did is obviously I signed up for this one. I said, yes, I'm available. I went down there and it was a great experience. I mean, it was just a discussion with other people who've got a similar cars as mine. So we kind of felt like we knew each other already and we all had something in common to talk about. So it kind of felt like a social event, but at the end of it, you get paid. So the second thing on this list, guys, is getting paid to do online surveys. Now, this is something very similar to the first topic where you go to focus groups and get paid, but the difference here is you do it online and the cash rewards is nowhere near as much. But you can do it online, so you can do it in your spare time or any little time you've got. This is one of the things I have not actually done myself personally yet, so I can't really comment on its success or on how much potential money or cash that can be made. In order to realistically understand its potential, I have decided to set myself a 1-month challenge where I try to do as many of these online surveys as possible. However, there are some important rules around this challenge I have to adhere to, and they are: 1, I cannot set myself allocated time to do this challenge, because that defeats the whole point of building extra cash. You don't want to make a job of this. Second, I cannot do it during any working hours or when I'm spending times with friends and family, because again, you don't want this to interfere with your actual life or what you're really working on. And 3, only I can be doing it. I cannot palm this off to others and give other people my login or my account details and say, can you do some surveys for me at my own time? I have to do it by myself, just me and me only. So with the rules said, I had to actually figure out when exactly am I going to do this. I can't allocate any time for it. I can't do it during working hours. I can't do it when I'm spending my time with friends and family. So when exactly can I do it? So I decided to analyze my day and see what parts of the day I'm actually not doing anything productive or I'm just wasting time. Use that time to actually do these online surveys. So I realized during my day when I'm commuting to work, for example, on public transport, I don't really get much productive done. I might read a newspaper, or I might go on my phone, check some YouTube videos out, or read a book or something like that. So I substitute that commute time and try and do as much of these surveys as I possibly can. Another thing I notice is when I'm sitting on the toilet, I like to pull out my phone, go on WhatsApp and talk to people, or again, browse social media. Also notice when I'm watching TV and it's not something I have to concentrate on too much, I suddenly pull out my phone and start going to social media, checking on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, all these things. So while I'm doing that, I realized I can, just do these online surveys and try and make that time productive too. So everyone, there it is. That's a challenge. Now, if you want to follow me and do the exact same thing, then I've put multiple links in the description below. So there's a number of different sites which do online paid surveys. Now you can do this straight from your phone. So please try and sign up to at least one of them and try and follow the rules. Please follow the rules. Don't go out your way. Don't put too much time or effort into this thing. Try and make it as natural and as painless as possible when you do this challenge. What I'll do is report back to you guys in a month's time. So let's take this all the way to the end of January. So the first week of February, I'll tell you how I got on. And please leave some comments below and tell me how you guys are getting on, because I'd love to hear your feedback and see what your experience is like. So the next thing on this list is earning cash by switching your current bank account. So banks are super competitive when it comes to fighting for new customers. There are always great offers out there for enticing you to switch your bank account, and they're all mostly cash offers. Most people think, oh, yeah, I know about that, but it's quite a hassle to switch your bank account. I mean, you've got to change your details, you've got to get a new card, you've got to get a new bank account set up. It sounds like a lot of effort. Not anymore. These days, there's something called a 7-day switch guarantee, and what that means is the new bank account that you sign with, or that bank that you transfer over to, they will sort out every single little detail, so to make it as seamless as possible. So there really is no effort from you apart from just agreeing to do it and just filling out the initial forms. So as part of the 7-day switch guarantee, what they do is automatically transfer any of your inbound or outbound direct debit, any standing orders that you already have, transfer any money that you got in your old account into a new one. And they also ensure if anyone tries to pay to your old account, that payment gets redirected to a new one and the sender is notified. And as part of this guarantee, if there are any issues in that 7-day period, like you get charged interest or fees that you didn't need to get charged in that period, then you get it refunded. You may also think that being loyal to a bank is something that you don't want to give up. So if you've been with a bank for say 10 years and now you don't want to really give it up and switch to another one because maybe loyalty pays off. But really, I've been with one of my accounts for like 15 years, over 16 years, and not once have I got a great offer from them. In fact, when I started to apply for a loan or a mortgage, I'll get a really rubbish rates, and I found something better elsewhere. And that's one key thing to remember. New customers always get the best deals. So right now in 2020, this is my top tip to make yourself £250 cash for absolutely nothing, and if there's two of you, £500 cash. So here we go. Step one, sign up to a nationwide current account if you don't already have one, and then recommend a friend. If you do that, you and your friend get £100 each. Step two, once you've got your cash from Nationwide, now switch your bank account to First Direct. They will give you £50 just for signing on. Third step, after 6 months of being with First Direct, you can actually leave. If you do leave that bank account or switch to someone else, First Direct will actually give you £100 just as a leaving present. Now the reason why they do that is because they're so confident that their bank account is the best one out there and you won't do the switch. But the purpose of this, we just want to make that money, right? So just do the switch after 6 months and you get another £100 just there. In total, if you recommend a friend to come to Nationwide, that's £100 there. If you switch to First Direct, that's £50. And then if you leave First Direct, that's an extra £100 there. So £250 cash for literally doing nothing and sitting on your ass, pretty much just changing your bank account and moving your money around. So the last thing on this list is renting out your parking space. Now you might have some spare space on your driveway which you don't use. Now why don't you try and monetize that by renting it out to other people? I mean, people are starting to Airbnb their spare rooms in their house, so why not try and do this instead? I mean, it's a lot safer than Airbnb it to people. You don't have to deal with people inside your home. It's literally a parking spot outside. So, why not try and Airbnb your parking space? As there are more and more cars now on the road and more people buying cars, there's never been so much demand for parking spaces than ever before. So this is a really easy and effective way to make a little bit of extra cash a month. Most people think you need to live in a big city like London and be close to a station in order to do this, but I totally disagree. I live in the outskirts of London, and to be honest, it's a 15 to 20 minute walk to the station, to the closest station. So I myself actually drive nearer to the station and try and find parking, and most of the time I don't, so I don't really do it that much. What people tend to do is park in the station itself and pay a ridiculous amount of money, and it's very limited, those spaces, because everyone tries to use it. I'm sure there are many ways you can rent your space out, but here is a website that I've noticed called Your Parking Space. It provides an easy way to rent out your spaces and for you as a user to book spaces. So here's an example of Your Parking Space website. Now all you have to do is just go into it and just type in your destination. So in my case, I usually drive to Canary Wharf because that's where I work. Okay, so Canary Wharf in London, and just hit search. And it gives you this really nice graphical interface where you can try and book your space based on the location. So as you can see here, I mean, the numbers are pretty good, and these are bookings per month. So I mean, personally, I spend around £15 per day on my ticket into London. So if I add all that up over the month, it usually costs me around £200 per month to take the train. So I can book something like this for £150 per month and drive in. So I know there's a lot of people who would want to do this. I came across this idea at a recent investor conference that I went to. I met a guy who said he started doing this in his free time. So he had some spare parking spaces outside his house, and he decided just post it online. He started making on average £80 per month, which is pretty good, right? But he started noticing a gap in the market. More and more people obviously are starting to drive their cars. There's more cars on the road. So he started looking into this more further from an investor perspective and started buying up parking spaces just to do this full time. So that's it, guys. That's the end of the video. I really hope you enjoyed it and found it useful. I mean, there's loads of things going on today that you can do to make the extra little bit of cash every month, but these are some of the things that I feel is relevant today and can be done quite easily. So I hope to see you next time on the next video. If you haven't already, hit the like button and subscribe, and see you soon.